everybody. This is Dr. Kaveh coming to you guys live again. Wellness Influencers is proud to bring you guys a fantastic colleague of mine, Dr. Cotey Jordan. He's joining us from United States, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're going to be discussing how we can basically try to keep our calm with all the unknown that has been going on, and how to become a beacon of hope and fundamentally try to control the emotion for ourselves, for our family, and ultimately for our community. Dr. Jordan, thank you for joining us, sir. Welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Absolute pleasure to be here, and I appreciate everything you're doing and the fact that you're still doing it. Keep going.
Thank you, sir. Now, with all the latest news we have had, obviously the tempers are high, the emotions are going wild, and rightfully so. People are afraid of unknown, and unknown is what's causing all the fear and anxiety. So what's your take about all that?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's perspective is everything. There's so much uncertainty out there. And, I could put on multiple different hats now, but I mean, as a chiropractor, I look at my own profession, there's a lot of uncertainty. People are more scared now than ever. They're not getting direct answers. They don't know, should I stay open? Should I treat patients? Philosophically, many want to. Legally, we don't know if we can. If I was going to put on another hat and just be a community member, people, they're running around, they're scared, man. They just don't know what to do. And what I've noticed is when people get scared, they're looking for a leader. And many of these people, they don't have leaders. So it's important for people like yourself who are leaders. There's no better time than now to step up and lead.
Now, for our viewers and our listeners, we are gearing it basically to general public here. Obviously, in order to control any emotion, is first you have to calm down and look at your whys and your purpose. And I know you have a famous wheel that you have created. Let's go through that wheel and basically go, section by section and talk about it if possible.
Yeah, wonderful. That's a great idea. So that wheel that you speak of, it's called the growth cycle. And a little background on that. It was created, unfortunately, for the military because a lot of suicides, a lot of PTSD, our system, very much so like our medical system, it's very reactive and there was no great resources. So me being in the United States Air Force for 18 years now, currently in the reserves, I created the growth cycle specifically for that. However, for the past several years, we've been using this. You can apply it to any area in life. So yes, to the general public, this is huge. I mean, this alone, it is a leader. It is a beacon of hope. So again, because we're unable to put that diagram, I know you and I went back and forth trying to do so. It's pretty simple. If you can just envision, it is in fact a wheel, and there's 6 steps in this wheel. Number 1 is mindset. Number 2 is goals. The 3rd step is strategy. And then number 4 is environment. Number 5 is behaviors. And then number 6 is lifestyle. So if you look at these 6, it goes in a wheel like this. It's called a cycle for a reason because it's just continuous and it's never ending. So with the current situation we're in, absolutely. Let's start with mindset. So if I were talking to a leader like you, you purposely said, stay calm. And I couldn't agree with you more. What are some other mindsets of a leader? What should the community members, what should they be doing? If I were to ask you that, what would you answer?
Basically for me, it has been trying to keep calm and reason with everybody and inform them with all the information that they're fact, not fiction, and try to rise to the occasion and try to help humanity regardless of who they are.
Absolutely. So again, depending on how you're looking at this, as a professional, as a spouse, as a parent, as a community member, there's different mindsets you can have. And when I say mindset, a lot of people get confused. What do you mean? It's simply your beliefs. You know, people react based on their beliefs. If you believe in something so strongly, you're gonna friggin' do it. So when you have this big event like the coronavirus going on, yes, there's a lot of uncertainty. It can be very scary. So this is when you dig deep, and this is when you get down to the root of things. This is when you look at your core beliefs and you start acting upon them. So again, it comes down to perspective. You know, I've seen a lot of good come out of this situation. And what I mean by that, I see a lot of the community coming together. I see families growing close. I see kids having relationships with parents they haven't had in years, because professionals are starting to realize, like, whoa, maybe my priorities haven't exactly been congruent with my core values. So you can go in so many different directions with mindset, but ultimately it comes down to, what are your beliefs? And the problem with this one is, you know, everyone's got an opinion, everyone's got different beliefs. So when it comes down to humanity, we got to respect each other's beliefs. You got to do what you believe is right, but you still got to be kind to other people.
Now, when it comes to mindset, especially with so much uncertainty that's going on, what are some of the hacks you can trigger that mindset to take it from negativity and shift it into positivity? Because after all, positive mindset is what gets us through all the difficulties.
Correct. So that's a great question. You know, this is called the growth cycle intentionally. Growth can be uncomfortable. You know, we all come around that uncertainty, and, you know, we all experience fear in different ways. It could come in the form of anxiety, or it can come in different forms, but it's what do you do when you come across this? Do you face your fears straight on? Do you attack those? Or do you go curl up in the corner and just kind of feel sorry for yourself? And this is important during a time like this, because if you really think about this, we're constantly surrounded by viruses 24/7. And when it comes down to mindset, because we're all looking towards leaders in this time of fear, a lot of people, they're getting their advice from the media, and the media is definitely dominating the air, and they're kind of dictating what we should think and our thoughts, and it's kind of leading to mass chaos. So if you want to have a good, strong mindset personally during a time like this, you should be thinking, man, I want to get my immune system up. I want to function at a higher level. I want to make sure that the people in my life, my family, my friends, the people that I care about, I want to make sure that they're functioning at a high level. I want to make sure that they're healthy. I want to make sure they know that they're cared for. We're in this together. We're going to get through this together. Let's stick together.
And furthermore, it's a well-researched scientific fact that stress does decrease your immune response. So if you want to keep your immune response at this time of need on the optimum capacity, obviously you're gonna have to stay away from stress. So we're gonna give our viewers some ways to manage that stress. Now, when we are going on your wheel, the next one are goals.
Correct.
So what is goal setting, and how is it that we need to set goals? Why does it help us?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you have to set goals. If you're not going to write something out, really, what are you trying to accomplish? You know, it's been my experience, if you look at this growth cycle, a lot of people regarding multiple areas of life, they're constantly jumping to step 3, and that's strategy. Just tell me what to do. What do I need to do? Just give me the answer. The problem with that is if you don't change your mindset, nothing will ever change. You might get temporary change, but you're going to end up right back to where you started. So really the significance of goals is simply to get you to take that first step in the right direction. You know, I don't know how it is up in Canada, but here in America, there's a very negative connotation when it comes to goals. And why that is because we've all been taught and trained to come up and set goals one time a year. And it's usually at the end of the year. We call it that New Year's resolution. We start off the year, and it's hilarious because The studies show that most people fall off track in the first 13 to 15 days. And therefore, if they're going to fail their goals that quickly, they're never going to hit their goals. It makes them feel like a failure. They're never going to set goals the rest of the year.
Now, for our goals, what are the objectives? We all have goals, and everybody, for example, the first goal, most of the people, when you talk to them, they say they want to be financially very secure. I mean, 90% of the people say that. So how is it that you can dig deep and find out the true meaning or true goal, why you seek financial stability?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so something you said earlier, it's digging deep, it's finding your why. So if you truly do think money's your top priority and man, I just wish I made more of it, well, why? Is that really the most important thing? Because it's been my experience, most people, and this is men and female, they can be successful in one or two areas of life, and then the other ones tend to not so good. And what I mean by that, I know plenty of people, they have great marriages, they're wonderful fathers, but they're simply not successful. They're not career driven. They don't make a lot of money. They might be overweight. And on the flip side, I know a lot of professionals, super successful. They're making beaucoup dollars. And unfortunately, their marriage was set on the back burner. They're not doing too good. Their parents, as parents, they're not succeeding. And, either they're super fit or they're just not healthy. So back to your original question about goals, I actually, in my first book called Beyond Symptoms, I go in great detail about this. I personally believe you should have short-term goals, you should have long-term goals, and you should have a 30-year goal. And when I say 30-year goal, people think I'm nuts, but essentially what that is, it's your vision. So if I were to go into more details with that, if you, the viewer right now, were to fast forward your life 30 years from now, go ahead and calculate that in your head. How old are you? Some people don't want to calculate that. What does your life look like? And to take it a step further, I always like to ask, if you could fast forward 30 years right now, would you want to be as successful? Would you want to be as healthy as your parents currently are? And a lot of people here in America are thinking, oh gosh, no, please don't make me do that. So then I ask them, well, what are you going to do differently to ensure that you don't end up like that? And that's where the goals come into play.
Now, when you say short-term goals, what is short-term? Is it 2 months, 3 months, a year?
Yeah, so for me, if you want to talk finances, if I were to say, man, I want nothing more than being a millionaire, 30 years from now, I just want to travel. I want to have enough money for my wife and I to be successful and happy and travel. Then what I want to do is I want to reverse that. I want to reverse engineer that. What does that look like? Like, what am I doing professionally? Me personally, I run a private practice. I do some coaching on the side. So I want to reverse that. And ultimately, how the heck am I getting there? And a lot of people, they get overwhelmed. So it's always a good idea, whether you're in business for yourself, whether it's a personal goal for your career, you should say, hey, 1 year from now, I would really like to accomplish this. And whatever that is, it's no secret. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know. Break that up into quarterly goals. Break it up into monthly goals. Certainly break it down into weekly goals so that ultimately you're constantly taking these baby steps. And that way you're taking this huge, overwhelming vision that you have, that part of you doesn't even believe is possible, but you're taking these tiny little steps towards it and you're working towards it every day.
Now, the third step on the growth cycle is strategy. How and why do we need it?
Yeah, you can set the best goals in the world. Like, man, those are some good goals. I'm super excited for you. And I know a lot of people that do this, and all they do is they set these great goals and they end up in this little cycle that they can't break out of, and they just continuously spinning because they don't know what to do to work towards those goals. You can have the best goals in the world, but if you don't have an appropriate strategy, you're never, ever going to even come close to hitting those goals. So yeah, strategy is basically the how-to. And depending on what it is that you're working, whether it's a successful marriage, a passionate marriage, whether it's you want to make a lot of money income-wise, whatever the case is, you got to have the appropriate strategy in place so that you can get to wherever it is that you're trying to get to.
Or basically, in these times, we have to make strategy how to keep calm and deal with things systematically and not try to basically rush through judgments and think that everything is coming to the end. Now,
that's a wonderful point. If we're talking about the current situation, like what is your goal? You know, some people, they don't have goals right now. They're in survival mode. They're so uncertain. They have no idea what's coming, what's next. Oh my gosh, I'm at home. My work is limited. I don't have the income coming in. My kids are not at school. I have no idea what's coming. Like they're just scared. So what is your goal? Is it simply to survive this little situation? Or is it to connect deeper your relationships? Is it to take your business to the next level, or at least set up some good goals and some strategies in place so that when we come around and this is all come and gone, now what happens?
Now, the fourth step will be the environment.
So important.
Now, because of its importance, let's spend a little time on that. Why is environment so important?
So important. Basically what the environment is, it's the people you surround yourself, including your physical environment. So what I mean by that is we all know people who are just negative. They're negative ninnies. They see the worst in everything. Well, if you're going to surround yourself with people like that, that's going to rub off on you. You know, if people aren't supporting you, they're not encouraging you to grow, to be better, to be successful. I mean, ultimately, you don't stand a chance.
So the environment obviously affects the mindset because this is a chain, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is a big one because it can affect every other aspect of this growth that we're talking about. Now, in today's environment, with all the bad news we have been getting, unfortunately, it's been voided all the good news that's coming out.
Correct.
The good news are getting a little overcrowded with all the bad news. If one tries to stop paying attention to the bad news, keep yourself, basically well-versed of what's going on and what's going to happen, but paying attention to all the negatives, it's going to ruin your environment. So how is it that we can control that environment? What are some of the strategies that we can use to control that environment?
You are 100% in control of that environment, but it does come down to mindset. So the stronger the mindset you have, the more stronger of an environment you're going to have. So, you know, it comes down to mentors and leaders and coaches. If you surround yourself with winners, you're going to be a winner. So when you look at the current situation, you have a choice. Are you choosing to sit in front of the TV all day, every day, or on your phones watching social media and just watching? You know, everyone's got a thought, everyone's got a belief. Most of them like, oh my goodness, this is what's coming. And the media, you know, no news is good news. We already know that. Every time you turn the news on, it's always something negative. Even before this virus that's going around, it's always negative. It's almost like we crave that negativity. So you get what you put out into the universe. You attract what your thoughts are. And there's no secret to that. So, you know, I'll bring up a point to this. I believe our environment is stronger now than ever before. And people are going to think I'm nuts, and that's okay, because everyone's got different thoughts. There's no sports. There's no going to movies. All this stuff is being eliminated. They're all distractions, because let's just call it what it is. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If the Pittsburgh Steelers lose a football game, it's like the whole town is dead and glooming on a Monday. And it's like, my gosh, like, how does that really affect your personal life? And now that all of these distractions are out of the way, our priorities are starting to change. People are literally bored, like, oh my gosh, I guess I'll have to go spend time with my wife. I guess I'll have to go for a walk and play with my kids. People are connecting at such a high level now than ever before. It's fantastic. And that's what I mean, is by perspective. So that's just an example of environment.
I mean, we have been basically indoors for the past week too. And, you know, I have had more times to play with my kids, do more stuff. And sometimes when I get bored and, you know, I need to do physical activity, I work out. But if I get bored of that, I, you know, go shovel snow for no reason. I really do, just to get the blood flowing and basically mindset shifts. Now, we talked about the environment. Now, the behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
What are the behaviors that is indicative and absolute in need for a growth?
Yeah, so if we go through the cycle again, we're working on the mindset. Because we have a good, strong mindset, we're really trying to get down deep to our core beliefs. What is my why? Why am I looking to accomplish something? Based on that mindset, we're going to set these good, strong goals. If we have good, strong goals, we're looking to grow in any area in life, we got to have the appropriate strategy. And once you get that strategy in place, wonderful. Now you have a game plan. You have a map to take action. You want to set yourself up in the right environment so that you have the support that you need, so that you keep being encouraged, you keep fighting, because there's going to be losses along the way. You're going to get defeated. And when you have the right environment, you're just going to get back up and run. That leads you to behaviors. You gotta, I mean, this is you. This is who you are. Are you someone who's disciplined? If you're looking at fitness, are you going to get up in the morning and work out, or are you going to hit that snooze button? You're going to sleep in. If you're looking for a passionate relationship, are you going to step up and be disciplined enough to plan out that date night with your wife? Or are you just going to be lazy and hope, you know, that time together is going to be fine? It's all about behaviors and who you are and who you're becoming. So yes, what are some good quality traits of successful people? They're disciplined. They're leaders. They act by example. They take action. You got to take action. If you're not going to take action, nothing's going to change. You can sit up here all freaking day, but you got to make that 12-inch journey down to your heart, and you got to act upon it, and you got to take action. It's the biggest, most important thing you can do. And then you got to be disciplined to stick with it, because it will be uncomfortable. It's not going to be easy. Growth can be uncomfortable.
It is like growing anything. There's always pain involved. I mean, you go to gym, you're hoping to, you know, lose weight and get healthier. There's some pain involved. The famous saying, no pain, no gain.
There you go.
Now, the last step in our growth cycle is the lifestyle.
It is.
What is the lifestyle that we need in order to basically pursue all the things we had talked about?
Yeah, so here's what's neat when it comes to lifestyle. You know, your lifestyle and your environment, those are two things that you can control. Certainly when it comes to your health, those are the two things that you get to make choices. So if you go through this growth cycle, you're going to end up a different person living a completely different lifestyle. And what's neat about that, you get to determine, how are your relationships? How are you as a parent? How are you as a spouse? How is your professional life? Are you successful? Do you make the money that you want? How is your health and fitness? Are you fit or are you overweight? Are you healthy? Are you functioning at a high level? Or do you choose to put in junk food into your body? Are you not functioning at a high level? Are you struggling? Or do you rely on medications just to be able to function? That's what I mean by lifestyle. So if you go through this growth cycle and you take it serious and you work on your mindset and you set really good goals, you're going to become a whole new person. And what's neat about this, it is a cycle for a reason, because now that you're a new person, you're bigger, you're better, you're stronger than ever, you're more successful than ever. guess what? You have a stronger mindset than ever before. So what do you think's going to happen to those goals?
You're going to set them higher and you're going to continue doing them.
You nailed it. That's exactly what happens. And you just keep doing this. You just got to make sure that your priorities, you keep them straight, and you make sure that you really know what you want in life and what is your why. Why are you going to keep getting out of bed? Why are you going to keep pushing when everyone else is looking at you like you're some freaking weirdo?
You know, there was a Chinese philosophers, I had read the book, I can't recall right now, that they said, take the most purest water, put it in a container. As the time goes, if that water does not move, it will become clouded, mold will grow in it, and it's not clear anymore.
I like that.
So the movement is an evolution of us personally, emotionally, spiritually, whichever that may be, but we can't just stay still. We have to keep growing.
Yes.
Now, I know you have written books. Let's talk about your books.
Sure.
What are the titles? Where our people and our listeners can get them? And basically just give us the lowdown on those.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So Beyond Symptoms, man, I poured my heart into that one. I learned the hard way. Writing a book, for any authors out there, it can be a challenge. It doesn't have to be. But really why I did that, my professional background is that of a specific corrective care chiropractor. So it just talks about the journey of health and finding your way. And what's really neat about that book, it's a two-part book. The first part of the book kind of talks about the medical system here in the United States, how we're more reactive than ever before. You know, we have more medications, more procedures. We're more sick than ever before. I don't think anybody in the United States would argue that, you know, we're not doing good. We are in a health crisis. So the second part of the book is more the proactive. And honestly, what's neat about this, it's actually the growth cycle. I didn't call it the growth cycle, but ultimately it's the 6 steps you can take to become healthy and fit and live an extraordinary life.
Amazing. Now, my question to you is, just to help our viewers and listeners, we're going to go through this growth cycle. With all the information we're getting now, what are we going to do for our mindset? Our mindset going to be to start taking facts and evaluating facts within reason. Right?
Now, are you referring 100% to our current situation?
100% to our current situation, because I'm trying to help people so they can understand and not stress themselves. Because as parents, as mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, when we stress ourselves, this stress is contagious, and it's like shockwave through our family, although we don't recognize it.
Okay. So here's what I would recommend. I would challenge people. I would challenge people to think for themselves. You know, Tony Robbins, I love the guy. I think he's a genius when it comes to mindset. He makes the statement, the power of your life is determined by the power of the questions you're willing to ask yourself. So here's the thing, don't fall into this group think. And if you really want to push on people's buttons, let's talk religion, let's talk politics. I can't come and push my religion on people. People are going to say, you're nuts, man. I don't believe that. Because they have these strong beliefs. The problem is with this virus, we're not all freaking wellness experts. We're not health experts. So people are getting pushed and pulled in multiple directions. They're told this, they're told that. Don't do this, but do that. They don't know who to believe. So take responsibility, because your health, it is your responsibility. Your health is your choice. So ask yourself, what do I believe? Like what I'm hearing, does this even add up? Does this even make sense? What should I do that's best for my family? What should I do that's best for me? You got to ask questions. And if something just is not adding up or not making sense, that's okay. Look into it. There's a lot of things out there. And, you know, I could share my beliefs. At this point, it's pointless because everybody else has their own beliefs. And it really doesn't matter what big bad Dr. Cotey thinks.
Now, Dr. Jordan, I really am grateful for the time you devoted to this interview. I want to thank you for the years of service that you had at the Air Force. As North Americans, we all owe a debt of gratitude to all the men and women who are in our Army, Air Force, basically all the military. That's the better word for it.
Hey, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that. And I agree, you know, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Army, all of them, we're all as important as the other. Yes, the Air Force is the best, but I'm just saying. No, I appreciate that. That was very kind of you to say that. Thank you so much.
Our viewers and our listeners, Wellness Influencers has tried to bring some reasoning and calmness in this sea of storm of unknowns. The interviews we do are geared to give you a bit of more strategies, trying to calm you, calm your family, and trying to delegate issues which they will help us come on the other side of the storm better, more prepared, and wiser. Dr. Cotey Jordan, you're great. Thank you so very much for this. I certainly do appreciate your time, sir. Hopefully we will see you in another perfect time. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.